now and speak to French publisher and journalist Aymeric Montville. Aymeric, always good to have you on the programme. We now know the dead suspect was a refugee. How does that affect or impact the case now?
Of course, some will inevitably engage in xenophobia when the questions whether they are French or foreigners is pointless. Indeed, if there is something to underline, it is that France and its American ally did not hesitate out of Russophobia, because he was out of Russophobia or in the past Sovietophobia to support Islamist terrorism in Afghanistan, then in Chechnya, and then again recently in Syria. And some of us in France were a few to say that these so-called freedom fighters that our diplomacy supported in Syria, for example, were the same ones who murdered our children in our very streets. And I think it would be time to realize this.
Does the gruesomeness of what occurred yesterday, will that shine enough of a light perhaps on the French government's refugee policies to have a sizable impact?
As I tell you, this will be taken in the general sense and not in the sense of, I think, which is crucial, of an unbiased analysis of this delirious policy of Russophobia, which has recently made us welcome real fascists, whether Ukrainian, Russian or Islamist, as long as they oppose the policy of the current Russian government.
The details of this are still emerging, but the picture seems to be that the teacher had asked, he was a history teacher, he had asked any Muslim students in his class to leave the room before showing cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad. One pupil, believed to be of Muslim extraction, a Muslim, had remained for whatever reason, told his or her parents there was problems with that. Some video or text went viral. Now, the teacher had clearly taken precautions, but Aymeric, involving children in a debate like this, even about freedom of expression, was it too much of a risk?
Oh, I think that from what the investigation is beginning to show, there are undoubtedly ramifications, the mark of ISIS, of what remain of it, a real policy of terror, and not isolated acts or some kind of reaction. Or this kind of hypothesis is more credible in any case, that of an involvement of the remnants of ISIS. I think we must point out that Islamist terrorism was born during the Cold War to counter the USSR. It is very, very, very similar to the complacency of the said Western democracies for fascism in the interwar period. The West has created a Frankenstein and is trying to pass this off as a specificity of the Arab-Muslim world, so as not to see its own responsibilities.
One of the disturbing details on this, the dead suspect was aged just 18. That's the same age as the man who went on a knife attack outside the old HQ of Charlie Hebdo just a number of weeks ago.
Yes, it's true. But I think he was not alone. He has not only parents but accomplices. But we must show the rest of the investigation.
But the age will give pause for thought for a lot of people that teenagers could do something like this and repeatedly.
Oh yes, it's a proof for an involvement, I think, on pressure from outside, I think. Because you cannot, he has been living in France for a long time. It's not, you cannot react like that out of the blue, out of the sudden.
Aymeric, always good to have you in the show, as I say. Thank you very much. Aymeric Montville, French publisher and journalist. Thank you.